Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Dancing Heart podcast, the place that empowers and inspires you to live in alignment with your heart and joy. I'm your host, Torney Wiggum, here to bring you deep conversations with inspiring guests about purpose, empowerment, and living in alignment. Let's get dancing into this week's episode. Welcome to a new episode of the Dancing Heart podcast. Today, I have Kristin Winfrey on the show. She is a resident alchemy coach, and she is also the CEO of her digital marketing agency that also has a Norwegian name. So I'm very excited to bring her on the show. Welcome, Kristin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to chat with you today.
Me too. And we're going to dive deeper into alignment and why alignment is the new marketing strategy and all kind of stuff around that topic that I'm very excited about as well, to learn more from you and to share your wisdom and experience with the audience. But first of all, I want to ask you this question that I always ask my guests, and that is, what makes your heart dance today?
Today it is cold weather, actually. I live in Florida right now, and it doesn't get too cold here, but I grew up with the cold and I miss it. And today it is chilly outside and kind of feels like a snow day. I know it's not about to dump snow, but that's what it feels like. And that just makes me really happy. I get to wear my jackets outside, and they're not just my air conditioning clothes anymore.
I love that, because you also have Norwegian roots. Yes. That is also like so exciting. And you have a Norwegian name for your digital marketing agency as well. Mm-hmm. Can you just tell me, like, where is your, how are your roots here in Norway?
Oh, well, my grandfather is from Oslo, and he came to the United States to go to college at Purdue. He's a hydraulic engineer and ended up getting a job with the Tennessee Valley Authority. So he built, I'm not remembering the word, but he implemented a lot of things to help the water create energy and sustain life, and make sure that the community of the lake, all of the organisms and animals, would be able to thrive while still generating power from the water. So he ended up staying, and his siblings are there. And so that side of my family is in Norway, except for my immediate aunts and uncles, and so a couple of cousins, a bunch of cousins in California, but it's a good route. They're close by.
It is. Wow, he's making a huge change as well with everything that he's been contributing with. And you are here you're for living a life in bliss. That's your field of expertise, right? And today we're going to go into the topics of like business and alignment, and how to really tap into this frequency of alignment. A lot of people are talking about alignment. So to start with, how would you like to describe or explain alignment? What is it?
Oh, well, alignment is when your energy just flows, when things are natural and organic and come with ease. A lot of that has to do, a friend wrote something about that yesterday, actually, and said that it's about doing what is in your best capability, at the highest integrity, and in unconditional love. And that is living in alignment for him. And I loved that description of it. I thought, because, it's different for every person and it looks different every day. And what really is how can I flow right now? How can I be in harmony with what's happening around me and the energies that are present instead of forcing an outcome or a solution through.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great description. How to be, it's actually like how can you be in flow in your life and in your business and with any relationships and not just forcing anything to happen and just like the practice, like the art of just being present and with what is, right?
Yes.
And I had this reflection today actually about surrendering and alignment, and it's I think like for me too it's a lot about like slowing down. And in this corporate world where I'm coming from, it's like everybody's like, no, you need to do more, you need to speed up, and everything is kind of like high speed, and no one is saying, hey, take it slow today. Just flow with the task. Like I never heard anyone in in my previous jobs telling anyone that. That's like the opposite of what this is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of like, hey, how can we reprogram our mindset and energy to like come back into alignment?
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with like what you just described as being so in that masculine energy of going and doing and structure, and that feminine energy brings in that flow and that ease, and how the ocean waves come. They don't come straight into the sea. They have a curvature to them, and that's what makes them so beautiful. And I think it's really about living in balance with those two, because living in alignment still means you're taking action. You know, you're not forgetting that structure of the masculine energy, but you're being adaptable to what actions and when, and doing them from a state that is peaceful and expansive and creative and beautiful. Changes everything. It changes the outcome, it changes your experience, and it impacts it so much. From making your breakfast to giving a big presentation to everything in between.
Yes. Yeah, it changes really everything. But it takes a lot of like awareness to like come to that alignment. So do you think, is it possible to like only live in alignment?
Yeah, I think so. And I love how you said earlier, it's the art of being present. And I think living in alignment also means that there's days like the day I had today where nothing goes to plan, everything's backwards, everything needs a little extra TLC, and that's okay, right? That's just because something was frustrating or I had feelings and emotions about how my day went. That doesn't mean that I'm not in alignment. That just means that there's something for me to learn, and there's something here for me to say, hey, actually, maybe I didn't need to get all those things done today. Maybe I needed to have a slower day, and to be really present with everything that I was doing and really give it that extra TLC, because that'll give me a better outcome later, and I'll be happier I did it in the long run.
That's right. And it's like this quote that I've been talking about with one of my clients, and she's like, slow down to speed up.
Yes. I've said that so many times today.
You did?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, we had some issues before coming on this recording as well. Yeah. But it's all good. It's all in flow. It's all aligned. It's more about how you approach it. And like react, and we're like, okay, we just take it as it is, and let's adjust it a little bit, and then it's aligned again.
Exactly.
It's like making some small adjustments on the way. So
yeah, and I think that's so important to highlight, though. It's the small adjustments. Like living in alignment doesn't have to be this thing where you flip your life upside down. Your life might look completely different in a year, 2 years, 6 months, but it doesn't have to go a 180 in 2 days. These are little things that we do to just be more in alignment every day. There is no perfect, there is no 100%. There is no prize for having a day in alignment except for you, in my opinion, feel a lot more joy and have a better experience overall. But, there's nobody grading us. So
Exactly.
little
It's about
things.
just having a good time, feeling at peace and having fun. Like, that's the best combination.
My favorite.
It is. And you're also a CEO of your digital marketing that we just talked about. And the topic of this episode is like, why alignment is the new marketing strategy? Because I think there's a lot of up until this point, everyone is talking, this is the strategy for this and for that. Do we need any strategy anymore? Or can we only live in alignment?
Well, I think both answers are correct. I think that it's that balance piece. So I think it's so beautiful how so many coaches are having successes, or not even just coaches, just a business, right? And they have this success and they want to share their model and how it worked for them. And that is so helpful for people to have something to respond to be inspired by. But that doesn't mean that it'll work for you. That doesn't mean it's the right thing for your product or your offer. It might not be the most aligned strategy. So I see strategies as a tool. That's kind of some of the masculine energy piece that comes into balance. And then a living in alignment, and alignment as your strategy focuses on your energy and brings in that feminine flow of, well, I'm really called to write, so I'm going to do email marketing and a blog and those things, whereas you're called to speak and have conversations. So you have a podcast and do lots of beautiful videos. And so those strategies are, in my opinion, just like the tip of the iceberg, when really what matters is underneath it. Because if you're not okay, no strategy will work. If you're not really behind it and in love with it, and if it lights you up and brings you joy, then it's a go for it. No matter what anybody says, or if it works or if it doesn't work, quote unquote, it's about what feels good to you, because that is what will be the most magnetic.
It's about the frequency that you are, what frequencies are you taking the action from within yourself? And especially if you're like a solo entrepreneur or running your own business, or in anything actually, but especially if you are running your own business. I am an entrepreneur as well. So it needs to be aligned.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can see, if you look back at maybe like a time where you had something going on in your life that was really hard and really intense, you can probably look and see that reflected in your finances, especially as an entrepreneur. Even as like a server in a restaurant, where here our servers are paid in tips. And if you're having a bad day as a waitress, you might not make very good money. But if you're having a great day, you'll make a ton of money. And as an entrepreneur, it's amplified. You don't have that structure of the restaurant to kind of hold you, for you to like tap into. Like it's your structure. You are the one that's holding the space for it. So I find it even more important the further I get into my entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah. So how do you stay in alignment and take action, or what's in your business?
Well, I do a lot of things on day-to-day basis for my own personal energy. I love exercising, dancing, singing, goofing off in my house, hanging out with my dog. There's so many things that will bring me joy and bring me back to present and bring me really into my body. things like breath work or EFT tapping. And there's so many different tools that can really support us to help energy move through us so that we can be present and we can reach almost a neutral space, and then take action from our hearts with happiness and excitement and security and safety, right? Because if we're taking an action but we don't think it's going to work, it's not going to work. But if we believe that it'll work, it'll work. It might not work exactly how we thought it would, but it'll work. And so that, and then there's also things like scheduling my week in according to the energy that is already present. So each day is associated with a planet, which carries a certain frequency. So like Tuesdays, for instance, I don't have meetings generally because it's a Mars day. And Mars is all about action taking and doing. And I find it hard to sit down and have a conversation on Tuesdays. I would much rather be with my headphones in and getting all sorts of beautiful things done and creating and taking that action. Whereas Wednesday is Mercury, and that's the day of communication. So my Wednesday is start to finish meetings. That's when I want to talk to everybody and connect and tap in, because we're all in that space of a communicative flow.
Nice that you use the weekdays to also stay aligned with your business and your tasks. So now we are recording this on a Thursday. What day is it? What planet?
Thursday is Jupiter.
Oh, it's Jupiter.
Yes. So it's all about expansion and abundance and higher learning and the color yellow. So
it's perfect.
It is. And then there's things like with the days, the color yellow. I have yellow socks on because I'm bringing that energy of the day. I had such a weird morning that I reset in the afternoon and took a shower, changed my clothes, and was like, okay, it's Thursday. I need some yellow. What can I do to ground me into the energy that's already here? And how can I be more aligned to show up in alignment and have this conversation that I'm so excited to have? So
I love that insight to use the day, like the energy of the specific day, and plan the week ahead from that space. I know that like Tuesday that you said is more like action-taking day. And then what is Monday? I know Monday is more like a feminine day and Fridays are feminine.
Yeah, so Monday is the moon. And so it's a day to really, for me, tap into my intuition. It's another day I don't typically have meetings with clients. That's an internal meeting day where I'm kind of planning my week, looking at the big picture of things, feeling into what projects are lighting me up. What am I really inspired to work on this week? And kind of set the emotional tone, the energetic tone for the rest of my week. And Fridays are Venus ruled. So that is divine feminine and colors and art and beauty and creation. It's a very creative day. Saturday is Saturn, which is the divine masculine and structure. It's a great day for me to clean my house and kind of I attuned to my structures that day. So if I need to do laundry or want to reorganize something, then those are the days I schedule that out. And Sunday is the sun. And that's all about manifesting and your inner light and just shining bright. So it's a great day to do something that you love, something that makes you happy. Write out what you are looking forward to for the week that's coming and kind of start dropping those seeds for the universe for everything to flow how you want it to.
This is such great insights. Like just to have this awareness of, okay, because when you start to actually follow those energies, I think that's going to feel more, it's going to feel so much better. It's going to feel so much more in flow. I also started to pay more attention to the energies of the days as well. And Mondays are for me like naturally just very slow day and very like you said, it's an internal meeting day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the actions day are more like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Friday is more like, wanna go on a date with myself day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By Friday, I'm usually feeling a little spicy. I want to go do something.
But that is such a great tips for anyone that's running their business. Just like, hey, take a step back, look at the days, look at your schedule. Maybe with this information, go back and reschedule something and see how you will feel. What is different?
Yeah. And I've been doing this for a few years, and it has made the biggest difference for me because I now feel like everything is covered, right? I don't have to make sure that I'm spending or carving out a lot of self-care time because I have a whole day for that. Monday is my day. It is where I tend to myself and set myself up for success. Sometimes that looks like planning out a month on a calendar. Sometimes that looks like having a meeting with my team. Sometimes that looks like not talking to anyone and doing a facial, like, you know? But I know that everything's covered, and it just alleviates so much pressure for me to make sure that everything's cared for, as a dog mom, or even more responsibility with kids and a company. And we were in school when I started doing the days of the week, and we were also moving. Like, there was so much transition in my life that I needed some sort of structure to click into for myself, because felt like I was forgetting everything every day. And that really just brought a lot of peace into my life.
Yes, and this is a masculine structure with the weekdays, and then you can flow with the energy of that specific day, which is kind of like the flow and the alignment that we just talked about.
Yeah.
So that is just a beautiful, like, if you don't know where to start there.
Yeah.
With the energies of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And what else in terms of alignment? Is there anything that you have noticed differently when you started to really trust in that frequency of alignment?
Well, I'd love to say that everything was perfect immediately, but it wasn't. There's this transition period that you're rewiring your patterns, and you're reteaching yourself how to be, which means you also have to take a look at what you are wired with, and how am I showing up, and why am I feeling so much pressure, and all of those things. So it was really helpful to have the structure of the days, for instance, to lean back on, because that felt like something concrete. And so even as I was having all of these fears come up, I was like, no, but people have been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Like, there's something to this. This is how we're all set up. The moon moves the tide of the ocean. We're made of 70% water. So for me, I really grounded into some of those more logical facts that could support the release of all of the fears, to really just fully trust in the flow of alignment, and letting go of timetables and dates and due dates, things like that, was hard. And it's been the best thing. It has opened up our company in ways that I didn't know were possible. It has gifted us, this company, actually, SKAPE, our digital agency, was a gift from the universe. That was a full trust and a full surrender to the universe. And it really kind of fell into our laps. And we were just handed this opportunity, and we said, okay, let's do it. Let's see what this is. Let's try it out. And every time we say, oh, well, let's just see how this goes, it builds so much and brings so much to the company and to our clients that I never dreamed we would have an agency ever in my life. And now I couldn't imagine my life without it. And I'm so passionate about business and alignment and how that really takes you to the next level. It really amplifies what you have. And as far as your magic in you, right? Like when I say what you have, I mean like, what are your gifts that you're here to share? And also the gifts of your business, because your business has its own energy as well. And if you start treating your business as another person, as a coworker, as a colleague, that really shifted it for me as well, because it really made me realize that this business has its own identity, and I have my own identity. Just because I'm the CEO and I'm living in alignment, that doesn't mean that I'm also forgetting myself, right? Like we have to stay separate in order to really, truly flow and build what we want to build.
That's a great insight. I never thought about that the business is one energy and you are another, and then you come together and then that can be amplified.
Yeah. So if you take a look at, for instance, any sort of energy chart for yourself, you can also do that for your business, an astrology or a human design. And so you can really like get to know the energy of your business and where do you and your business overlap? How do you guys complement each other? And that to me is the sweet spot of pure flow and pure alignment, because you're using the natural magic in you and really letting that light shine. And that will be the most magnetic that you will ever be, no matter what strategy you use or what offer it is or how much it is. You will be blessed so beyond any of your manifestations or dreams and desires, because you're doing it with such ease and in such joy.
Yeah. And when you are connected to your heart and that is activated and you take that energy into everything you do, like I don't think you can go wrong.
No, I don't either.
So what is your biggest manifestation since you, or in your life or in your business, after you really started to live in alignment with your purpose and with your business and with your vision?
Well, I don't know that this is my biggest per se, but it's one of my favorites. I really wanted a whiteboard. And I kept saying, if I have a whiteboard, I would be so much more organized and I would use it in this way. And I just was like talking about wanting a whiteboard for a few days. And I ended up not buying one. And this package got delivered to our building, which was all one story with 4 different apartments. And it got delivered to a neighbor's door who was out of town, like out of the country for an extended period of time. It was odd that there was a package delivered there. So after a couple of days, none of his support came to pick it up. So I went over there and I looked at the name, and it was delivered to the wrong address, and it didn't have anyone's name on it. And it sat there for a few more days. Could have been a week, I'm not sure. And finally one night I was like, I just have this burning desire to go open this package. I must know what is in here. And I couldn't explain it. I tried to rationalize it away. It wouldn't go away. And so I was like, you know what? Nobody cares. It's been rained on for like 3 days. I'm going to just go open it. Torni, it was a whiteboard. 2 of them.
What?
And they were supposed to be delivered for a hotel. They looked like they were for some sort of conference.
Okay.
And so they have, in the very faint on the background, there's lots of different languages translated. And then there's a line down the middle of it. And on one side it says, "You asked." And on the other side, it says, we listened. And I was like, oh my God. How more obvious could that be? And there was two of them. So it was one for me and one for my partner. And I was like,
oh my God. Do you still have them?
yes.
Oh, when did this happen?
Probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe.
That is so amazing. That is crazy.
That just felt so undeniable. Like, you asked, we listened. Like, oh, golly.
This is it. I got it. Thank you, universe, for delivering this to me.
Exactly.
And nobody ever asked for it or went to pick it up or anything?
No. I mean, I think probably 2 weeks went by. Like, I really was like, Kristin, this is crazy that you feel like you need to open this package. Like, that's someone else's mail. Like, it didn't make any sense. And finally, I was like, you know what? This was for a hotel. That guest probably isn't there anymore. Let me find out what it is. And then I'll call the hotel and see, And then when I opened it and you asked, we listened, I was like, oh, well.
This is it.
Never mind. That was
that is such a fun manifestation story that you get to tell.
Yes.
And that's great. I love it.
Yeah. They helped a lot.
It helped a lot. Yeah, just to have this wish or this desire, and then you started to envision that you had it and suddenly it was delivered.
Yes. Or another one, this might have been my best, was I had lost or broken all of my sunglasses, at least my nice ones. And I was just saying it literally to myself. And I was just really was like, I cannot wait to go pick out like a really nice pair of sunglasses. Just like, oh, that'll be so satisfying and beautiful, and it'll feel so empowering and good. The next day, my neighbor came home and said, hey, I saw these, and they immediately made me think of you, and I just knew you had to have them. And they were a pair of Versace sunglasses.
Oh my God.
He didn't pay full price for them, but I was just like, what? Like, what?
Really? Like, seriously, like, universe always delivers.
Always.
When you just like, no, tapping into this inner knowing that I have the desire, and the reason why I have it because it's supposed to happen in one way or the other. I don't know how, but that's not even my job. And just to tap into that inner knowing and be in that frequency.
And I love how you said that's not my job, because I believe that so wholeheartedly. It's like going to a surprise party and trying to control your own surprise party. Like you want to go to your party and be surprised. You want someone else to set it up for you. It'll feel so much more joyous and happy and exciting than if you control all of the details and then show up and fake being surprised because you planned it all, right? The universe is trying to throw us a surprise party all the time, every day, with every request and every desire and every feeling that we have. It's like, yes, that and more. Yes, that and more. Including if you're upset or thinking something is wrong or afraid, it'll just amplify that. So I want to be surprised all the time.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. You want to be
space
surprised.
for it.
Yeah. And what you said right now, it's making the space for that, because the controlling energy is like, it's so low frequency. It's like this chasing, controlling, and you're not making space for any magic to happen. You're not leaving magic, like leaving the space to universe to create magic for you. If you just stay behind, and not stay behind, but if you just like stay in your energy and like control what you can control right now, which is your mind, your energy, and your frequency and your actions, that's it.
Yes. Completely.
And then you just have to every time you're going into fear or into any lower vibrations or frequencies, you just can close the gap like faster and just like, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to step into this frequency again and do something that brings me joy, which is the fastest way.
Exactly. Yeah.
To come back to alignment. How do you know when you are aligned? When you're operating from an aligned place?
Well, I'm going to answer both. Coming back into alignment, for me, I really utilize the power of choice. We are here with free will. We get to choose our actions, and like you were just saying. And so there's a dance between honoring the emotions that are here and acknowledging them of like, hey, you feel angry, or hey, we're upset about this. What's going on? And then choosing, okay, I hear that, but is this what I want for my day? Do I want to spend the rest of my day upset? Do I want to let angry drive the bus today? Or do I want joy to drive? Kind of like, have you seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes, I have.
Yes, like I think it's the best depiction, right? So like they're all at the control board. You're not kicking any emotions out. You're not dismissing any of them. They're all really important, and we get to choose who is the conductor, and we get to choose if I'm going to be upset about something all day, or if I'm going to make peace with it and say, well, this is what it is. And this is where we flow. And this is where we bring in that feminine energy of letting go and trusting and surrendering and pivoting my aligned actions to what is present. And how can I take aligned actions that will either bring me back into joy, that will make space for joy to come back to the table, which could be things like putting on a song and dancing, or the tapping, or breath work, or sitting outside in nature, so many different things. Or it could be, cleaning my space, or organizing something, deleting a bunch of emails or old contacts in my phone. There's so much digital clutter, I think, in our energy spaces that we don't always pay attention to. I found recently that's been like one of my main, if I feel funky, I will go in my email and start deleting and unsubscribing from however many emails, that I never check, and I'm never going to check them. I haven't been reading them for 6 months. I'm not going to read them. So I just delete and unsubscribe, and that just brings so much lightness to it. So I think there's lots of different ways that you can bring yourself back into alignment. And knowing that I'm in alignment gives me a sense of warmth in my gut and a lightness in my chest, where I'm able to sit up tall and my shoulders are back and I don't feel hunched up and tense, or like my shoulders are at my ears. Your body gives us so many signals about what's going on with you. It's really about that art of being present and noticing, hey, whoa, I am sitting over here like hunched up. Something's not right. That's not aligned. If I'm aligned, I'm open and I'm receiving energy. I'm not closing myself off from it. So that's a big, big, quick indicator for me, is that the chest and then my gut. Is my stomach feeling tense? Does this action I'm about to take make me feel anxious, or am I feeling really secure and grounded and in my power and excited to take action? I love awe and excitement. So that's really my natural state and my indicator. If I'm not excited about something, if I am not in a state of awe while I am doing something, then something's probably off, whether it's the action or myself, right? Like, because We might not be super excited to, I don't know, do our finances, right? Like could be a really stressful topic. But if you get yourself to a happy space and then sit down to do your finances, how much faster are your invoices going to get paid? How much more are your clients going to gift you for Christmas holidays? You know, those kinds of things that we don't really think about, but we need to do our finances, and we need to find a way to do them in a happy way, because that is the most abundant way. And that, in the big picture, is the flowiest way. It's the most aligned.
And I thank you. And you said something so important, from my perspective, when you said, like, if I'm not aligned, like, I'm kind of like in my receiving energy.
Yeah.
And that is like, that felt super abundant. Because you're like, if you're this forcing, you're kind of like blocking the receiving, which is also blocking you from receiving money or opportunities or whatever that you want to calling in your life.
Exactly. It's controlling the surprise. It's not making space for the blessings to show up. You don't know how it's going to show up, but you know it'll show up. And trusting that it's here for you already, and saying, okay, well, the version of me that already has this in hand, already tangibly has these things, she feels this way, and she acts this way, and she moves with this energy, and embodying that energy as best as you can in that moment.
Yes, it's about embodiment as well, a lot about that, and aware of who is this person that already received it, how is she acting, and what action is she taking, what is she believing. And I think everything is backed up with beliefs, like empowering belief system.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our belief system is everything, and that brings back choice. We get to choose our belief system, and I think a lot of us don't realize that. We're born with, patterns and culture and life experiences, and there's so many things that shape our beliefs. But have you chosen those beliefs, or were they handed to you? And sitting with that makes the biggest difference, I think. And that, if you want to come into alignment, check your belief system. What's happening in this moment? How are you feeling about it? What do you believe about it? And what does that belief mean to you? Because just because you believe something doesn't mean it holds the same meaning or value as the same person, as someone else with the same belief. So doing that process in the moment will alchemize whatever is no longer in alignment to make space for what is in alignment. And you get to put a new belief system in right there and say, yeah, I don't want to be angry. I no longer believe that if something happens in the morning, it affects my entire day. You know, that's not a belief system that I have. So choosing what we want to believe and putting a pure intention behind it of why we want to believe it, I think is probably the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves, because everything stems from that. If we believe it's never going to work, it's never going to work. If we believe it will work and we trust in the universe, then it will work, and we'll be open and we'll adapt and we'll flow. And we'll get surprised, and we'll have an amazing time and experiences that we never would have considered before saying yes, and before trusting, and before making the space for it.
Yeah, exactly. Making the space for it. And I also want to bring up, like, when you are aligned, consistency is like the most natural thing for you.
Yeah.
And I just had this realization, I think it was last week. I'm like, why does everything feel so easy right now? And I'm like, oh, I think it's because I'm in alignment with what I'm here to do. And I love what I'm doing right now. It just comes naturally. It's just part of who I am. And before I used to like, oh, I need to do this, and not forcing it, but kind of like, oh, it felt like a task. Now it's just like I have embodied it.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I'm sure, how is your experience now that you've realized that? Like, are you still enjoying everything? Are things still just as easy?
I think it comes with more ease and flow. Yes. Yeah. Of course, there are tasks that I don't know how to do it, but I'm like, just going to do it anyway. I need to figure it out. And then, next time it's going to be easier. Okay, maybe I spend 2-3 hours doing this one today. And then next week, it's like 15 minutes. Yeah. It's all good. Because it's part of the longer goal and the purpose, or the longer vision. Okay, I need to invest some more time right here so I can spend more time on other things in the future.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it's like we were saying earlier, it's small steps, it's small shifts, right? It's all of these little things that add up. Like, how did you go to bed last night? Me personally, last night, terrible. I did not have a bedtime routine. I fell asleep with the TV on. I woke up, all propped up in a weird way. And I had a weird morning this morning. And it was because I had a weird night last night. All of these little things build up and they add on top of each other. And it's so easy to shift things without really feeling like you're doing a lot of work. Just like, take a little piece. What's a bite-sized thing that you can shift? What are you eating for breakfast? How's your morning routine? Do you have self-care time during the week? All of these tiny little nudges. There's a reference in the restaurant world of moving the salt shaker back to the middle of the table. And I love that. That has stuck with me. And it's about you're just moving it back to the middle, and then someone will use it and it'll be set over here, and then you move it back to the middle, and then it gets used again, and then we move it back to the middle. And that's, I feel like, how we do. We go out in the world, we use our energy, we share our light, and then we need to come back to center. Because when we're interacting with other people, we pick up their energy or have new experiences that we need to process and integrate and heal and learn the wisdom from. And we're just constantly moving ourselves back to the middle. And I don't see it as this task to do. I see it as the purpose of the hike, right? I feel like when we're hiking, if you're running to the top of the mountain just to see the view, you're missing 99% of the hike, of the experience of being in the mountain or being in the woods and being present with the things you see along the way. And so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's right. And it's not even, it's coming back to your natural state, actually, like coming back to your center, coming back to balance. However tool you want to use to come back to that natural flow, back to yourself, really back into your energy, clearing the space and coming back so you're ready to you take the soul to spread it again the next day. Right. Or yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And it's not even about doing so many things too. It's more about being. And if you take the aligned action, maybe you only have, it's just a small thing that you have to do. As long as it is aligned, it's going to be so much more powerful than 10 action steps that's not aligned.
Exactly. And that, I think, is why alignment is the marketing strategy. It is the thing to focus on for me in business because it is the core of who you are and your energy field. We have these electromagnetic fields. And if you are putting out a bunch of content because you need to put out content because I got to sell this thing, because I da-da-da-da-da, then, people are going to feel that. And you're going to attract people who are also feeling that vibration. You're going to attract people that are in a panic or freaking out and maybe not getting everything out of your content. And it really impacts your sales, right? Like maybe they're not the right person for that. Maybe they aren't ready for the experience that you're offering, but because your energy was so in a state of fear or lack, then you're going to attract people in the states of fear and lack, and they're not going to understand your actual offer, and it's not going to resonate with them, and it's not going to be a good match for them, and it's going to bring extra work for you. And there's all kinds of side effects that could come from that. Whereas if you wait a day or two or turn on a song and dance it out for 5 minutes before you make the content, then your energy will be different, and you'll attract people that are in that energy as well of wanting expansion and abundance, or who love dancing. Imagine if you put out a dance video that was like, I gotta dance, but whatever, then like people are gonna have fun watching dancers that aren't into it,
Exactly,
we want a performer
like faking the dance.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. So why do we think it would work in business? Why do we think it would work anywhere in our life, in any sort of relationship?
You're right. And I remember we had a talk a couple of days ago, and you told me that you just started to run again, and then you had so much more engagement on your posts and everything that you've been posting lately.
Yeah. And part of that is because I'm posting more often, and I'm sharing, and I'm more authentic and more vulnerable. In the moment, I had been posting really few and far between and kind of vague recaps, and it goes hand in hand for me because I feel more empowered. I feel more connected to my voice. I feel more connected to my message. I hear it coming through clearly, and I get excited to share it. Whereas before, I wasn't feeling so confident, and I wasn't really sure if I was actually clear on my message. And so running for me was a way to bring my body back into alignment and my energy back into alignment. And that has made a huge difference just in under 2 months, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 3 weeks. It's been incredible to see how that's shifting. And it's just one thing. I didn't change my routine or how I eat or any of that other stuff. I just am exercising, and I'm running, and I'm running outside because that's what I like. And it's nice weather here right now. So it gives me grounding time. And in the summer, you will probably not find me running in 100-degree heat, and I'll be doing something different to stay in alignment then.
Yeah, it has different seasons, but that is such an important reminder for everyone. Like, go and take care of your energy first. Come back to that balance. Do something that brings you joy, that you can stay present with your energy, with your body, or be outside in the nature, whatever, how that looks like. And from that place, it just started to flow naturally.
Yeah.
That's how it did for you. And that is the energy you bring into your day, into your business, into your clients. And from that place, everything is just like attracting, like you can receive from that place.
Yes. And it goes everywhere too. I went to the grocery store and had so much fun chatting with the lady while she scanned my 10 items. And she was like, I wish you worked here. I just love your energy. And like, I'm not planning on working there, but it was so beautiful to have that reflection from the world that, yes, we're specifically talking about business and life, but it ripples everywhere. And how much joy did this woman have because she had a pleasant interaction and enjoyed 5 minutes of her day at work And now how is she treating the next person? And how is she treating her coworkers? And how does this go out? So like, we talk about living in alignment because it's quantum marketing and it's how, business in the future and what we're all shifting towards, but also it's impacting our world and we're uplifting our communities and we are becoming a safe space for others to also be in alignment and to come into their power and stand in their energy and say, this is who I am and this is what I want to do and this is what I want to share with you because this is what lights me up and this is how I'm doing it. And it's just so much easier without the extra stuff, without the extra baggage, without the extra expectations or the belief systems that we don't actually believe, but we have them in our heads. So we still run off of them. And yeah, the impact is so exponential. I don't know that you could ever quantify what a day of alignment could do for you.
I love this. And I feel this energy of this conversation is just like, it's been flowing so well. Like, thank you so much for sharing everything that you have been sharing. Is there...
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for this space. This is so much fun for me to talk about. And this is also, a part of that clarity that has come from me saying, okay, I need to kick it up a notch. What's something I can do in my life to bring more alignment, to bring... yes, I'm already living in alignment, but that doesn't mean that it's stagnant and the same all the time. So that running has shifted so much. And I was like, wow, I had so much fun recording that one podcast episode I did last year. And wow, I'm really feeling called to it. And then I got your message and then we met and it's like, boop, 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 boop. Like within a week, I had the thought of, I want to do a podcast again. And we're recording a podcast. Like,
this
what?
Is so...
you
love that.
Plan that if you like really tried, but that's the surprise. And that's the flow and the beauty and the ease of everything is that it just is there. I didn't have anything scheduled for today because I was meant to be doing this,
Exactly. Oh my God. It's so fun when you connect everything like in the past, like, oh, that's what this happened. That was aligned. And that is so great. I love this, Kristin. Oh my God, this has been so much fun. Is there anything like last thing you want to share about alignment, marketing strategy, quantum strategy, or anything?
I don't know. I think really it comes down to belief and a knowing and then tapping into your body and can your body hold that belief? A big factor through all of this learning about life and alignment has been the nervous system and tapping into my nervous system and saying, hey, how are we doing? Are we a little frazzled or are we feeling really good? And giving space to my nervous system because I have beliefs that were really big and totally out there. And I believe them wholeheartedly with all of me and my soul and my heart and my gut. But my nervous system couldn't hold it. And so living in alignment also, like not only is it choosing the belief, but it's attending to our body and that embodiment piece of, well, but can I hold this? Just because I have this idea doesn't mean that my body is ready to hold that frequency of energy. And we might need to take a few steps to get there. And that's where the little steps come in and the little things come in of like shifting here and shifting there and shifting here and shifting there. And then all of a sudden you're just flowing with whatever idea and belief because you have made space for it in your body. You've moved energy or strengthened your nervous system, and that's our electrical system. We need that for our electromagnetic field to be at its best. It's not just about our heart. It's also about that. And I think that is the last little piece, because if we're attuning to ourselves and tapping into ourselves, we'll know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and trusting all of those ideas along the way that it's all correct, instead of questioning it or wondering if you're crazy, will just really allow you to flow. Because if you're questioning all of this, you're putting a bunch of resistance on top of it, and you're just canceling yourself out. And so,
yeah, that's great. Like integrating like the mind, the body, and also the soul. So all of these three can be aligned. So your magnetic field can be open and magnetized for receiving.
Yeah. Because like you could be so magnetic and magnetize everything you always wanted, and all sorts of financial abundance, and all these people who want to pay you. But if you can't hold the energy, if you can't receive it, if you can't allow that currency to flow through you, then they're just going to be sitting there waiting for you to be able to meet them and waiting to pay you. And they're just going to be sitting there like, hey, I'm ready when you are, And we need to be like, oh, yes, this door is open and this door is open, and I'm expanding and holding all of it, and I'm setting up the structures for it, and not overwhelming myself, and I'm not making myself do it all by myself. And, there's so many things that come into play. I think that's the most beautiful part, though, because everyone can have their own version of alignment and has their own unique, authentic frequency anyways. And so with quantum marketing, it's like, you want the best marketing strategy? Okay, let's go to the root of marketing. How do we exchange information? How does this world that we work in operate? And it operates on a quantum level, and everything is teeny, teeny, tiny and holds a whole multiverse in it. And focusing on that's the basis for everything. It's the basis for, our physical things, how our body operates. And so if you really want a good marketing strategy, go to the core.
Go to the core. That's where you get all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Kristin. Where can people connect with you if they want to learn more about alignment or business and all of these beautiful things that you're working on or with or offering? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I think Instagram is a great spot to connect with me. And my Instagram is iLifeandBliss. And from there, you can find links to the digital agency, SKAPE Digital Agency, and any other projects that I have cooking, because there's always something fun being created in the background in my world. And I'm working on lots of different workbooks and energy audits and ways to help us get clear on what alignment is for you uniquely, and what is it for your business, and how does that translate into an ideal offer. And also just alchemizing transformations in life and moving the energy of whatever shows up. So yeah.
Amazing. This has been so great, Kristin. I just want to thank you again and for sharing all of these beautiful frequencies and energies here today on this 12/12 portal. I forgot to say.
Right? Happy 12/12. Talk about a magical day to manifest things.
Yes. That's what we're going to do right now. Wow. Thank you, Kristin. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Dancing Heart podcast. Don't forget to share with your friends, leave me a review, and tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is TorneyWiggum. My DMs are open. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Ciao, ciao.